Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. It's Saturday, September 27th, 2025, and today's topic, I'm going to call it, well, it's going to be sketching a fox that from reference, but I wanted to use a dark to light, so it's going to be mostly just dark. Like I looked up like black and white photography, and yeah, I'm just sticking with the animal theme, which is what this page was. But before we begin, welcome back if you're returning and welcome if you're new to the channel. I sketch and post every day and I use a timer to stay focused and to build a habit. So yeah, this might give you some ideas. It's going to be like a demo. It's an experiment. I haven't actually done this particular exercise, not very often. Yeah, if you want to follow along, then you're welcome to do that. I drew this box in pencil because I'm going to fill this pretty much like with black ink, but I do it in pencil just in case I want to fix the border. So it's kind of like that. And yeah, this is a pretty big size for like pen and ink. What I found for like something like this. So there's like a felt tip pen, like a medium point. So yeah, let's get started. I didn't practice this or anything. I was kind of practicing animals. I didn't really practice this idea. So part of this is just like, yeah, an experiment. I just found like black and white, like photography, and there was a picture of like a fox. And so I just wanted to stick with the animal theme, but it's like mostly black. I'll sketch in like the fox. So again, you might just want to check this out to see, since most of it's going to be like black, but I want to kind of map it out a little bit. So for example, like this middle part, so I'm going to keep it kind of loose. So I'm keeping, like I'm holding the pen like pretty loose. And I'm going to get like the, kind of smear it. I'm going to get like the main shape. So this, you have like this thing. And I'm going to kind of simplify it. I'm not going to make it look like completely cartoony. And this is like the basic shape of it, like the composition. But one thing I wanted to do, so yeah, I want to cover most of this with black. But one thing I wanted to do was like kind of use the white of the paper because it has like a certain look to it. So I'm just gonna just draw like give myself like a guide right here. And so that's really like the whitest part right there. So I just kind of wanted to give myself some room because I can paint over it with like white paint, but like the white of the paper is just gonna look brighter. The other thing is I might want to give myself an indicator of the shape of the eyes a little, like the nose. And that's pretty much it. Everything else will be dark, maybe like show the ears. Kind of like that. That's like the basic look of it. Now a lot of it will just be during the inking. So to start with, that was just like the composition, but now I want to lean into the like dark to light, meaning most of it will be dark. And I'm just going to use this. I've got one of these as like a Sharpie creative marker. And yeah, I'm just going to fill it in. I might fast forward it. So I'm gonna let that kind of dry for a minute. Again, this is kind of an experiment. Now that I have this, I'm gonna go ahead and create a border. This next part is basically the detail, and I always say like don't rush the detail stage. But yeah, I just fixed this. That's why I did it in pencil, so you can go in and make a better like border right here. And from here, there's just like different directions you can take. So one thing, for example, is to figure out like how you want to do like these dark areas. You can, I mean, it's mapped out, so you can kind of decide like, do you want to go in and like make it look nicer? So I just did like one layer, but you can call this like the second layer, and it'll be like the detail layer. So I'm just gonna go in like the other direction, but I'm gonna be more careful. So in a way, it's like I'm kind of cross-hatching, but I'm just gonna fill the whole thing. So it's just, these are different layers. This is like 2 layers of it right now. And we'll see what that looks like. Now, a lot of times with ink, especially if you're going to fill sort of a big area, you're probably going to need to put down like another layer. So I'm just going to do that and let it dry for a minute. So that's like with one layer, and then I just went over it like the other way, but like a second layer, and that should be okay, but I'm going to let that dry. And again, this is details, so just kind of take your time, but I mean, you pretty much have like you have the sketch, and now you're just doing like a finished drawing. The other thing is, like I said, I left the white of the paper. I'm going to utilize that. Now it just depends again like on the style. For example, like here, like I can go over some of it with white, but that's kind of like detail kind of stuff. There's just like different approaches. Just go in with like the medium point, kind of like the usual cross-hatching kind of thing. Just refine like the shadows right here. So for example, and I'm just going to kind of do like an example of it. So like right here. Again, it's detail, so I'm going to be like, there was already a line right there, but I'm going to make it look nicer. And it depends on like the style again. This was the idea I had. That's one way of doing that. Basically like the fur or like the edges. Same with like the eyes right here. I'm gonna be kind of careful. A lot of this has to do with like the style. And just look at the reference. Because there is drawing involved, but this is like the actual look of it. So like right here. So I did that on purpose, like right here, so I could do this kind of thing. Again, it's an experiment, but it's not a bad look. I mean, I kind of like it. Now to get an even kind of finer look, there's also like the finer pen. Even that could be kind of used as like the style, because this is just one pass, like the first pass, and there's like a second pass. So to get, because some of that might look okay actually. But then this area could be darker. And yeah, I would just be kind of deliberate about it so you don't like overwork it. You can just go over it like one more time. But yeah, for something like this, I mean, during the detail stage, I would take like however long. So one thing is, for example, like the nose has some highlights and I kind of covered it up. So just for an example, I usually would do this at the end, but I have like a smaller like white paint. So for example, right here, I'm gonna look at the reference. So you can go back over it. I would usually do that at like as like the final kind of stuff. Sometimes you can leave the white of the paper, kind of like what I did with the eye. But yeah, hopefully that gave you some ideas, and I'm going to keep working on this. I want to thank you for joining me for our daily sketching routine, and if you enjoy these videos, please support the channel. I appreciate it, and until next time, keep on sketching.